What up, people? It's your boy, Master Judy, out here with another video. So, focusing on film, and now the forecasts for the Little Mermaid have come out. The tracking. Right now, I want to say it's not good. It's not pretty. It's not very good at all. Well, it's not that nobody can say what it is truly, but it is should be concerning to Disney. As you can see, we have the Little Mermaid tracking between $70 to $90 million. A couple reasons why that's not good. The budget, from what I heard from somebody who told me, $150 million. This, expecting for a live action, you expect more. 70 to 90 million. That's not necessarily a good thing. And we can see here that its total domestic total would be around 235 or 305. So it'd be under what it needs to make a profit, not including the international numbers. So obviously this is something, but this projection might end up lower, and I'll get to that soon. But we're going to go back to what we're going to have to see here. Box Office Pro gave its projections. They say that several films will counter the program with a holiday frame, of course. Preliminary analysis and updated tracking for the upcoming releases are below. Here are the pros. They say that for Little Mermaid, it was one of the first films, of course, that Disney's 1990s second golden era of animated films, the Renaissance era. It earned $84.4 million domestically after its late 1989 bow. And this remake has one of the most anticipated live-action treatments from what has been said. I mean, it's been marketed like that, but not really. They say, additionally, Halle Berry being a person of color would attract more appeal. That's not necessarily the case, usually, because this is a remake. This is not nothing new. She's also, as somebody, I was listening to Valiant Renegade, actually, and as he mentioned, when they did it with Aladdin, Halle Bailey is no Will Smith. So I doubt that she can attract that wide swath. Also, they say a long holiday. This is obviously over the Memorial Day weekend. We'll see. So additionally, casting and they say with the long holiday competition, minimal competition for what should be an all-ages female-driven audience, Mermaid has the potential to enjoy a leggy summer run if the word of mouth is positive. Stretch. Multi-generation audience. I have my doubts about this. Now, here are the cons. The trailers have been mixed. And to be mixed is saying it politely. Nobody's really feeling the trailers. What they did at, the Oscars was pretty weak. As they mentioned, Will Smith was not there. Emma Watson is not there. That type of level of thespian, to put it in a better term, is not there for The Little Mermaid, basically. Furthermore, the expectation for in-house Disney films to reach pre-pandemic breakout levels remains volatile, because really none of them have, except for maybe Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's Sony. So you could say that Universal, Illumination, and DreamWorks have had profitable family films. They've been raking in the dough. Top Gun Maverick raked in the dough as well. The only, so far, Disney property to make bank has been Avatar, but that's pretty much it. And it's not necessarily a family-friendly film. It's just the hype, basically. So that's one, basically. The word of mouth. I am not overtly confident that it'll pay any means. Basically, I've heard $150 million, $200 million budget. That's usually the case. And from what we've seen, if there's any indication from the Disney produced films last year, the second week drops have been horrific, terrible, and the word of mouth will definitely not be enough to ensure that it has good legs, in my opinion, which leads me to another factor that I think Valiant did not mention, or a lot of people aren't mentioning, or perhaps they know, but they haven't mentioned it, or probably will mention it, is the schedule, as I've mentioned in a previous video. So, here we are, blah, 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 blah. As you can see, Guardians of the Galaxy will come out next Friday. And as you can see, that's going to carry pretty much a lot of weight, It's still an MCU film, regardless of how the brand is. It's James Gunn's last hurrah, the last hurrah of the Guardians. People want to see this, and I'm pretty sure it'll have good legs. Good legs. Good legs. Then we get into the 19th, Fast X. Granted, the budget is huge, and it might not make a profit from what I've seen, but it's still part of the Fast and Furious franchise. People want to see it. It's going to be a lot of money, so forth. It'll probably have a big opening. How it drops, we will not know. But that leads us into the 26th, okay? Fast X and Guardians will still be around, and I have no doubt that Mario will still be around as well. The Mario film is what we call good word of mouth. So you have films that will still be raking in the millions. Little Mermaid will be competing with Guardians, Fast X, and I still believe Mario as well. Three films, basically. It's going to cut into that huge opening that it's expecting, especially on Memorial Day weekend. People definitely want to come out and people want to see the Fast X film. People want to still see the Mario film. How many times we don't know. People probably want to see Guardians again. So we'll have to see. But that brings us into the next week. Little Mermaid, if I should know any better, probably have a huge drop because, oh my gosh, another animated movie is going to come out. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And everybody want to see that animated Spider-Man movie. It's going to still keep going. This will be the second week. It'll be competing with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And guess what? It'll most probably still be competing with Fast X, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 3, and maybe the Vestiges of Mario, depending on how it goes. But, we'll see. And then, of course, the next week you have Transformers. This will be the Little Mermaid's third week. The drops will keep coming. Rise of the Beasts. And while I'm not necessarily interested in it, people want to see some Michael Bay Transformers stuff. It's in the IMAX. Optimus Prime's back on screen. You definitely know that the opening is going to be huge for this as well. Who knows, man? Another competition. And let's say Little Mermaid keeps continuing. Next week, you've got Disney competing with another one of its products in Elemental, not to mention The Flash as well, is there competing, competing, competing. And then, of course, we'll probably have a break right here around the 23rd where you have Asteroid City and No Hard Feelings. Before, of course, Say Little Mermaid's still going on because it'll be a month. It'll probably still be in the theaters a month. Indiana Jones, another Disney studio, competing with Elemental that would have come out 2 weeks prior. And then another family film in Ruby Gillman, Teenage Tracker from DreamWorks. So, and then of course Harold and the Purple Crown, which is a family film, who knows, basically. And then I would say on July 7th, you've got yourself a bit of a break in that Mission Impossible, but I'm going a little bit too far. The point remains is that The Little Mermaid has been released and smashed in between two products that will be going strong on their first week or two in Fast X and Guardians of the Galaxy, and maybe the last vestiges of probably a strong Super Mario Brothers movie that's having great word of mouth that will likely add to its totals because it wants to make that sweet money. And then you go after that where it has to compete with Spider-Man Across the Universe. It has to compete with Transformers, Rise of the Beasts. It will have to compete with Flash. And then we'll have to also compete with Disney. We'll also have to compete with other Disney films and Elemental Pixar film that I know would rather want to see an animated film over a live action remake because it pops. Elemental will be out there. And then, of course, if we get into that, Indiana Jones, which will be another Disney show that'll be competing with Elemental again as well. And then, of course, another animated film in Ruby Gillman and Teenage Kraken. It's not looking good for Disney. It's not looking good for, the Little Mermaid remake, where the competition and the blockbusters in the summer will be hot. This isn't now, we're now reaching a point that we're past the pandemic where all these films are no longer afraid to release their heavy hitters in the summer. Like, they're getting ready to do it. They're getting ready to do it. Top Gun Maverick, even though, by all accounts, people really like the film and all that type of stuff, did not have this type of summer competition that a lot of these films will have now. So, who knows what will happen in terms of the future? But I do know that the future is not looking good for the Little Mermaid. It ain't looking good at all. And that's the couple with the rest of the marketing where people have been making fun of the freaking photorealistic animals, basically. Like, for goodness sake, look at this. This doesn't engender interest. Nobody is Nobody looks like it. This is from CNN. Flounder's live action Little Mermaid look might just be a bit too real. You think? You think? Look at this. This is Flounder. This is a fish. This is Flounder. And this is a fish. One looks like it has adventures under the sea. The other one looks like it will probably either be eaten in the ocean or die in a fish tank. All right? That's the thing. That's the thing. And it's not only that, same thing with Sebastian as well. See this? One look, you would believe that he is commanding an orchestra of underwater creatures and mermaids, and this, as people talk about, it's just waiting to be dipped in the Old Bay as well. It, it, it's um, it's just baffling. Same thing with Scuttle. You turned him into a. You expect him to pick up a freaking fork. The reason why that a lot of these people like the animation of Disney is because the animals were doing humanly things. Scuttle was picking up forks. Sebastian was out there doing his thing. It is it is what it is, and that's that basically. But that's pretty much it. Little Mermaid has its work cut out for it, and these are the projections. And as we move forward, as we keep moving forward, and depending on what Fast X does and what Guardians does as well, we could be in for a rough one for the Little Mermaid. But those are my thoughts. Tell me what y'all think. Do you think that this movie will make a profit, will break even, or come in at a loss? I'd like to get your views on it. Thank y'all for watching, and I hope to have more videos up when I can. Peace.